Please ask many questions.
So welcome everybody I'm Julie Johnston with Julie J Travel. I craft inspired experiences for active aging travelers, groups, and busy professionals seeking exhilarating vacations that envelop you in luxury. With my deep destination knowledge and my access to top guides, such as my folks here today, Costa Rican Trails, I help you to immerse yourself in the areas and the landscapes that you will be traveling to. And I also sprinkle a lot of relaxation on top there. I like to go ahead and get us started with these shows, which is called Who's Cooking with Julie J Travel. And today we are in Costa Rica live. I like to start us off with a quick video to get us there, get us inspired. And then we will go ahead and have Wilhelm introduce Lorena, our chef today. And then we will go ahead and have our cooking demonstration where she'll be moving along. And then if you have questions, like I said, just put them in the chat. And then after that, we're going to run through a sample itinerary, which is actually an itinerary that I will be going on next month. I won a contest and Costa Rican Trails had generously donated for this contest, a 8-day stay in Costa Rica. So he's actually going to be going through the itinerary that my husband, Eric Johnston, who's on today, he and I and some friends are going to be going on in the middle of May. So I'm super excited. Can't wait to see all the wonderful photos. So let's get started with a sample and inspiration.
Where's my sneakers?
Here, the clouds rise very early in the morning. The rivers start their daily routine to meet the great blue. You wake up listening to a natural symphony. Pure oxygen is what you breathe. And water rinses nature while you are able to clear your mind. Breathe in. You are now good to rediscover nature and feed your curiosity again. Costa Rica is now eager to welcome you. We live the value of nature. Not only we take care of it, but we also have learned to regenerate it. This is the pura vida in Costa Rica. Come and allow yourself to be pampered. Live new adventures and experience the kindness of our people. Come to reunite with your family, revitalize your relationship, discover unique and boutique places, and appreciate the very personal attention we offer to our guests. Soon, you will be connecting all of your emotions, nourishing your body from the inside out, feeling the adrenaline rush through your veins. We've learned what is truly indispensable, and we know how to share it. Come and discover the essentials and wonders of our pure life.
Smells good.
Pura vida, as they say in Costa Rica. Pure life. That was wonderful and very inspiring. So I would just like to say that we are going to be moving to Costa Rica Live now. And if you'd like to see a bigger picture of what you'll be seeing with the demonstration, on your photo in the top right corner, there are 3 dots, and you can actually, or actually on your computer, I should say, top right corner, it says view. You can choose the view speaker view. It will then make it larger for you to see the presentation. So go ahead and take it away. We've got Wilhelm von Bremen with Costa Rican Trails, and he's joining us today here with Lorena Velazquez, and she is the executive chef and instructor, 20 years plus in the cuisine business. And so I will let them take it away.
All right, thank you very much and welcome to our house. And welcome, Lorena. Thank you very much for accepting my invitation to come and teach us a little bit about your wonderful meals that you produce and you create, because it's an art, it's creation. And of course, Costa Rica has such a wonderful products to offer. You know, we have a lot of organic things, and we love vegetables in Costa Rica mainly. We have a lot of sea bass, a lot of fish. We have 2 oceans. So we have all the different types of fishes that you can find. And Lorena is going to show us today how we do, first of all, the entree, which will be pumpkin soup with coconut milk.
Inspired on the Caribbean coast.
Inspired on our Caribbean coast. And then we have the sea bass, which is more on the Pacific side. And the sea bass has palm of heart.
Where are you in Costa Rica?
Which we produce in Costa Rica. We are located in San Jose. We are out in the outskirts of the city, up in the mountains. So sometimes internet doesn't work very well. So hopefully everything goes fine and we start. So let's start with you.
Let's start. Well, thank you very much. I'm super happy. As you said, Costa Rica has amazing, amazing products that we can find and we can inspire ourselves to cook. So today I'm gonna do a third little recipe, which we didn't send you, because it's gonna be like a side dish to accompany our fish. So we're gonna begin with the soup. I like to work really organized, so you should follow this
As
advice.
you can see.
When you cook in the kitchen, the most important part is to have all the mise en place ready. Like all the mise en place is every little ingredient that you're going to need in the recipe. I like to have it chopped ahead of time and in front of me, because I've had students that don't do that, and that they forget the ingredients, and well, it's not, maybe they might get the end result perfectly, but I like to be very organized. So we're going to start with a cream of pumpkin. Pumpkin, we call it ayote. This is ayote sazon. It's already pre-cooked. I'm gonna give you this little secret. I peel it and then I put it in boiling water with salt, and I pre-cook it. That way, you're gonna take a little bit less time making the soup in general. Okay, and we're gonna use also coconut milk. We're not using fresh coconut milk because sometimes, you know, at home, maybe you might not be able to find it. So we can just use canned coconut milk. But here in the Caribbean side, usually what they do is they they open the coconut, they take out the flesh, and they grate it, and they use that milk to produce all these delicious recipes. One of the ingredients that I'm gonna add, this is optional, is a little bit of curry. We have a lot of inspiration of you know, cuisine from the Caribbean, and on our side in Limon, the province of Limon, we use a lot of coconut milk and we use a little bit of curry. So I'm going to put a little bit of curry into the recipe. This is optional, as I said, but the main ingredients are the pumpkin, which you can also get back home, and the famous coconut milk. And obviously ginger. Ginger is a product that we use also a lot in our cuisine. It's become more popular throughout the years, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to begin with the soup. We're going to let it cook for a little while, and then we're going to process it, and then we're going to begin with the fish. So if you want, now you can come here to this side, because we're going to start heating our pan. I usually cook with olive oil. You can use, you don't have to use a very expensive olive oil. You can use like just the normal olive oil. We're gonna first we're gonna start with our vegetables. So as I told you, I already have everything chopped up and ready. And I'm gonna show you all the ingredients anyways. This is bell pepper. One of the bell peppers was a little bit more mature than the other. That's why it's red and it's green, but we can get 2 different colors here. And we usually produce a lot of these, most of the products that what I'm using today are produced here in Costa Rica. Now with the COVID, we had a little bit of downfall. So I like to use Costa Rican produced products. I'm gonna just add the onion and the bell pepper, and I'm gonna start to crystallize it, okay? And turn up the heat here, there we go. I usually like to cook the onion and the bell pepper first, a little bit so they can loosen their juice. And then I add the chopped garlic and the grated ginger, okay? I add after so they won't burn, okay? So we're just gonna let them simmer a little. I'm gonna put this here now. And I'm going to bring these other ingredients to the side. It's gonna take a little bit of time for it to heat up. Once it starts crystallizing, we add, this is garlic. I have it in a little bit of oil. This is going to avoid the garlic to, to turn a little bit sour or to change its flavor. So I usually chop it up and I put a little olive oil. And the ginger is just freshly grated. It's just really, really, really freshly grated. We're gonna process this soup. We're gonna put it here in our blender. So if you don't have time to chop up everything too much, it's okay. And you don't have to make it perfect. I'm very I'm very keen on chopping everything perfect for presentation, but we're gonna process this soup anyways. Okay. We're also gonna use, we have our, just to let you know, I'm making a little bit more quantity here than what the recipe says. The recipes that I sent you are for about 4 to 6 servings, depending on how much you want to give your guests when you cook for them. But usually this is really nice as an entree or a starting dish before our sea bass. Today we're also going to work with heart of palm, which is very popular here in Costa Rica. I'm going to work it in 2 different ways. One to accompany the sauce for the fish, and the other one is going to be the side dish, which is going to be next to the fish also. Okay. Now, once they crystallize, we don't want them to burn. We're going to add a little bit of garlic, not the whole thing, because I'm going to use the rest for the other recipes. And we're going to add all the ginger here. You have to be careful with ginger because it's very overpowering. But for this recipe, it's going to be plenty. Is going to be perfect. Okay. So we let it simmer for a little while. We let it saute for a little while. So now once the heat gets up, it goes really fast. Okay. Here, we're gonna add our cooked pumpkin. As I told you, I chopped it and I put it in boiling water with salt. We're just gonna add it. It doesn't matter if it has a little bit of liquid. We're gonna add it and we're gonna saute it so it can start blending with the rest of the ingredients. See, it's very, very soft. This is going to accelerate your process of your soup if you don't have much time. Like we don't have much time today, but if you wanted to make it, with raw pumpkin, you can do it. You're going to take a little bit more time, and you're probably going to need a little bit more chicken stock or water if you want. But since this one's pre-cooked, we're going to cover it with the chicken stock. And we're going to start adding a little bit of flavor. What do we add here? We add a pinch or a little brown sugar. This is going to, this is gonna upgrade the sweetness of the pumpkin. Here you're gonna add, depending on your own taste. Don't add too much. I prefer to add little by little, and at the end, after we process, if it's necessary, you can condiment your soup. So see, now all the flavors are going to start mixing together or binding. I'm going to add a little bit more, and then I'll taste at the end. And This is an addition, which is not in the recipe, but this is optional. We're gonna use a little curry, powdered curry. It's going to enhance our flavor of our soup. It's gonna give it a more Caribbean flavor. So it's gonna be really nice. I'm gonna add a little bit. And at the end, if it's necessary, we'll add some more. And of course, salt and pepper, which is right here. Now we're gonna lower the heat and we're gonna let this simmer for a little while. If it's necessary, you can add a little bit more chicken stock. But remember that we're gonna add at the end our coconut milk. So it's not coconut cream, it's coconut milk, because we have two different types. The coconut cream is really sweet and the coconut milk is more pure. We let it simmer, very low heat. And now we leave it on the side. And then once it's simmered a bit and once all the vegetables are cooked, we'll add the coconut milk and then we're gonna process it. When you add the coconut milk, and if you want, you can actually, if you want it thicker, you add less chicken stock or less coconut milk. If you want it thinner, you add a little bit more. So it's gonna be optional for you.
But that coconut milk is the one that you really take out of the coconut?
Actually, this one we couldn't get the coconut, but directly.
Well, also because it's very difficult, you know, you have to, first of all, you have to climb the palm tree, take the whole thing down, open it, have the coconut. The coconut is quite hard. You have to really crack it and then take out the coconut, which is also very hard to take out. And then you have to.
You grate it. And then what they do with the coconut, with the grated coconut, the inside, is they put it in boiling water and they start extracting the natural juice.
Oh, that was my question. If you have the coconut, then you put it in a cloth
You
and
can
then squeeze it, but then it will be only a couple of drops.
Nah, the best thing is to put boiling water in it and start working.
Oh,
with
and
it.
that way the coconut releases the water.
And then what they usually do is sometimes they use the grated coconut for some recipes, but usually they discard that and they just use milk. That's an amazing flavored milk.
Our grandmothers, they used to have the shell of the coconut that has a lot of like little hairs. And they used to use that to polish the wooden floors. So they would put some salsa music, they would put the coconut upside down, and with the foot, they would just scrap the floors all day long. And that way you recycle things.
That's fun. Well, I wanted to bring I usually serve this soup in half coconut, but the person that was supposed to bring it to my house wasn't able to bring it.
No, it's difficult.
It's very difficult to chop, and to chop it perfectly even in the center, to use as a bowl, it's complicated, so, okay. So we're gonna leave this here for a little while. It's gonna be really quick. Remember that the pumpkin is already pre-cooked, so it's gonna actually be really quick. I don't know if somebody has a question?
Well, I wanted to make a comment. Wilhelm, I had bought a coconut here and my husband, Eric, it was his task to open it, to get the meat and the milk. And it was such a project that he and my father had to take it out to the garage and get a power drill out.
Well, there's another way. You can get the back of a knife. You have to have a little bit of experience, and you can start tapping on it, turning it around, tapping it really carefully, and then it's gonna open by itself. But it's a process. It's a process.
Watch your hands. Don't do it at home,
No.
please.
No. It's better have somebody do it for you. Okay.
Definitely made me realize it's better to buy it already open, ready to go.
Yes.
Exactly.
This is like America Got Talent. Just open
Yeah,
it.
I didn't need any trips to the hospital over a coconut. That would be nuts.
Wonderful. So this is sea bass. We have a great we have great fish in Costa Rica. We actually get very fresh fish if you want every day. And
There's a question. What temperature is the soup cooking?
no, right now it's like really, really low. It's just barely simmering. It's very low because these kitchens sometimes since they're gas, they so you have to leave it really low simmering for a little while. We're gonna add the coconut milk soon, and then we're gonna process. But first, we're gonna do the fish, and we're gonna make the sauce.
Can you say a little while? How long, Lorena? Because I'm.
I would actually say since your pumpkin is already going to be pre-cooked, I would actually say maybe like 10 to 12 minutes. That's it.
Okay, thank you.
So now here we have our marvelous sea bass. This is like really, really fresh. What I'm doing is I'm just salting and peppering it on both sides. This is optional. You can pass it through a little bit of flour and you can take off the excess flour. This is only to give it a little bit of texture. This is not, this is not obligatory.
Necessarily, yeah.
It's not necessary, but you can do it, and it's going to give it a nice texture. I'm going to leave it there on the side, and we're going to begin with the sauce. Now you're going to have to come to the side again.
It's okay.
We're going to make a little bit of sauce. This sauce,
Is it that
I
one?
think it's this one.
Yeah.
There we go. There we go. Okay, this sauce. I'm going to put it really low.
Here's a soup
Yeah, there's a
cooking.
soup. I'm gonna add a little bit of coconut milk, so the coconut milk starts to give its flavor. And then we'll add more if it's necessary. Okay.
So they call it milk, but it's no lactose inside. So it's gluten-free
It's gluten-free, exactly.
and lactose-free.
This is a really, really nice soup, and it gives it such a nice flavor. So it's actually very, very nice. Okay, now we leave it there for a while, and we come to the side. Here, we're gonna make a heart of palm cream. This is gonna be the sauce that's gonna cover our fish, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna blend a little bit of olive oil, and we're going to add butter. This is not a very light sauce, but it's a really creamy and delicious sauce. And
So there is the little French part, isn't it?
this is a little French part. We're not gonna do the roux, which is what thickens the sauce. We're gonna get this one, dehydrated mushroom soup. I'm going to make a mix of mushrooms and heart of palm. I'll explain why. I like last year, our mushroom producers in Costa Rica were having a hard time. So I decided to cook a lot with mushrooms, a lot.
Great.
So, and I like the blended mushrooms and heart of palm, that they have when they mix together.
Well, we learned in Costa Rica now that the last year with the COVID thing, the situation, a lot of producers of flowers, of especially like mushrooms and palm and heart, all these producers, they were a little bit suffering a little bit of the problem. And everybody decided to help them directly. So we were buying directly from them and they were delivering at home. So, it was a great thing to do to
I had a
help the
producer
community.
that would take mushrooms like once a week, so I would have to do a lot of recipes with mushrooms. Here we're gonna do the same. We're gonna saute the onion. It's very low heat, so it doesn't matter. Onion and garlic. Only onion and garlic. If you want, you can add bell pepper, but
Question
it's
on
really
what
not
temperature
necessary.
your soup's at right now?
What temperature is the soup right now?
The soup is like really, really low. I don't know if you can see here. It's like really, really low. It's just simmering.
It's
Barely.
simmering very
Barely
low.
simmering.
It's just simmering. It's just,
The soup is basically ready. Now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna leave it there for a little while to concentrate the flavors. We're gonna make the
Lorena, we have a
sauce.
question.
Yeah.
If you buy coconut milk in a can, do you skim off the fat or leave the fat in?
No, that's gonna give it a lot of flavor. What I do is I mix it here really, really well, and I add everything. I don't skim anything, coconut milk. Okay, here we are gonna add, first we're gonna add is our mushrooms. These are just freshly chopped white mushrooms. We don't want our onions to burn, so our mushrooms are gonna start sauteing with the onion and the garlic. This is a big amount because I'm making the sauce for quite a few that are gonna have the tasting later. So don't worry if you see a lot of mushrooms. Anyways, the mushrooms are gonna shrink a lot and they're gonna become very small once you cook them. Okay.
so we are doing a dinner party tonight and we're inviting some very close friends to.
Oh, we're so
to-
excited to accept your invitation. Thank you.
Come over if you have time. So that's why we're doing a little bit more than usual.
Okay, heart palm. This is very important. I brought them already chopped up. This is basically when you open a can. We're doing today. You're gonna be able to get this in the States. We can get them here raw, and we can pre-cook them. And this comes from the palm, and it's just basically this is a normal size. what I do is I chop them in little circles, like little, I slice them, okay? I like my sauces to be very full of ingredients, so that's why I put a lot into them. I don't like them to be a lot of cream and less ingredients. I like them to be very, very full of ingredients. So we're gonna wait till the mushrooms saute a little bit till they lose their juices. And then this one we're gonna leave on the side because we're not gonna be able to use it right now. So this is basically, it's like a white cream sauce. Basically what we're doing, the difference that we're doing with this is that we're gonna add the heart of palm, which is gonna be very nice to top the fish with.
Heart of palm is very, we use it very much, or campesinos or land people or farmers eat a lot of the palm of heart. We used to get many years ago the real palm of heart, which was called the gray. It was a gray color. Still nowadays,
you can still
people,
get them, but
yeah,
it's
still,
expensive and it's illegal.
it's illegal because what happens is that you will destroy a palm tree that has been growing for the last 20 years, only to have a small amount of heart of palm. So now it's prohibited, but some people still do in the forest. But
It's
this
really,
one,
really delicious.
this one, it tastes completely different. It's very soft, and the color is a little gray, light gray, throwing to a purple color. But now we have plantations of heart of palm, and they grow for 2 years, and then that's what you take out of the palm. But as you see, you can imagine we have to destroy the whole palm tree to get that palm.
But it's a very nice product, and it's very, very delicious. Here, we're gonna add, sorry to interrupt, we're gonna add a little bit of this is chicken broth. And we're gonna add cream. This is just normal. In the States, you can get the normal heavy cream. This is a very easy sauce to make, actually. If you wanted to make it with a roux, you can just melt equal amounts of butter and flour. And to that, you start simmering the onions, and you add the rest, and then you add the cream or the milk. But this is an easier way to make this sauce. I'm gonna add enough. I think this pan is small, but it's gonna do. It'll work. And now what we're gonna do before we salt and pepper, I'm gonna add the dehydrated cream of mushrooms. This is just gonna give it a little bit of flavor, and this is optional also. You don't have to necessarily use it, but it's gonna make it thicken a bit, and it's gonna give it a little bit of flavor. If you don't want to use it, I repeat, you don't have to, because the heart of palm is going to give it a lot of flavor, and so are the mushrooms on their own. We do have to enhance them with salt and pepper, so that's very important that we do right now. Liam, I think that the salt and the pepper over there. Okay, thank you. And what I do is I start salting little by little, and then I give it a little taste to make sure that it's not too salty, because it's very easy to add salt, but it's very difficult to take out. Okay, to thicken this sauce, if you want to thicken it a little bit more, what we have to do is we have to dissolve a little bit of maicena.
Which is translated in English?
Like
Like baking powder, like baking?
No.
No.
Maicena is starch.
Starch.
Cornstarch. I was trying to think of, sometimes when you switch from Spanish to English and English to Spanish, it gets complicated. I'm gonna turn this off.
The soup.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn it off right now because I don't want it to be extremely hot when I process it, or when I
Oh,
put
yes,
it into the processor.
because then we will have it all over the kitchen.
Yes, and the burns are not nice. Yeah, so the cornstarch, we use cornstarch to thicken, and this is gonna be you're gonna add, depending on the amount that you have. See, this is the basic cornstarch. I'm gonna dissolve it in a little bit of water. Never ever add the cornstarch directly without adding water, because
Why?
Because it's gonna be very hard to dissolve inside the hot liquid.
Oh, so you dissolve it first?
I
and
dissolve it in
then
water always to take out all the
The grooms.
grooves. Exactly. Nice. This is nice and boily, so I'm gonna add a little bit. Remember that the cream of mushrooms is also gonna thicken, so we don't want our sauce to be extremely thick. We want it to be creamy and runny.
I like that, creamy and runny.
It's nice, but it needs a little bit more salt. And I like to do it little by little. Don't over salt because it's impossible. You practically have to throw it away if you put too much salt on it.
Can you hear the chachalacas on the background? The birds?
I don't know if you can hear them. I can hear them.
I can hear
I don't know if they can hear them. Okay, the final touch for this creamy, silky sauce is Parmesan cheese. This is just grated, fresh Parmesan cheese.
Can you guys hear the noise on the background?
The birds.
The birds.
The birds?
No, we hear your doggy.
Well, the dog is barking because of the birds. So we have a group of chachalacas, we were called. This is kind of a chicken that can fly, and they are always in group, and they are very, very loud every morning. And that's what they are now doing.
I used to live in Key West, Florida, and we had the roosters.
Oh my goodness, those are
they were-
loud.
Yeah,
And sometimes they start at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I know. Thankfully, they only came to our neighborhood once, and I think a neighbor took care of it.
Or the dog.
Yeah. Looks delicious, Lorena.
It tastes delicious. You have to make this at home. You can get heart of palm all over the United States, so you won't have a problem.
I use hearts of palm a lot. I always have them in my salads, and actually I end up introducing a lot of people to them. They're always like, what is this in the salad? And they love them. They're very mild and very flavorful.
Wonderful. Look at the texture of the sauce. It's like nice, silky, and creamy. You can also make the fish. You can put the sauce on top of the fish and finish cooking the fish inside the oven. And you can add cheese on top, and you can make it like a gratin. That's a nice idea also. Okay, so our sauce is ready. Now I'm just heating the pan so I can saute our fish. And then I'm going to show you the other recipe that we're going to make. We're going to use this one on that side. This has to be really nicely heated. This is it's quite thick, so you have to cook it well. Or as I said, you can cook it, pre-cook it, put it on in something that you can put in the oven, cover it with the sauce, and finish cooking it in the oven.
Mm.
Okay, because this is quite a thick piece of fish. It has to be pretty warm. So we have to
Carla
go
was
warm.
asking where we get hearts of palm around here. And I always find them where the beans would be, like your chickpeas and chili beans
Exactly.
and all that. That would be the section in the grocery store that you would find them. And not all stores have them. I'm in Barnard, Vermont, and I can get them at Max, and I also get them at Hannaford's over in London.
I think you can also get them online. There's a new product that they're selling in the United States because we're selling it here also. It's called the Palmini, and they have this is all for people that are doing keto diets that are doing diet with no carbs. They invented this product. It's heart of palms in spaghetti, or heart of palm in rice, which we're going to do right now, or heart of palm, and they have lasagna, hearts of palm, and you can make a lot of different nice recipes. And you can get it. I know that you can get it online.
But if you live in Miami, I can bet that in Calle Ocho, you will find it.
Okay, and here on this side, we're gonna start heating our other pan. I don't know how we're doing with time.
It's 12:36.
Oh, so we're doing pretty good. I'm gonna show you this part. These are baby zucchinis, and I just chopped them up really thin. And this is the rice, the heart of palm rice. Okay, this is one of the products that you can get in the States and that I'm really sure of. I'm gonna take this over here. I want to plate everything on this side. Okay. And our fish is cooking gently. I don't want it to burn. Remember that it has it's pretty thick. So, and it has the layer of flour, which is going to give it a little bit of color. Okay, in the meantime, we have our heat going on here. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to saute a little bit of garlic. This is a full kitchen. Nobody can imagine how difficult it is when you have so many things going on. What we're gonna do is we're gonna saute garlic and we're gonna saute our baby zucchinis in the garlic. We're gonna make this heart of palm rice with sauteed zucchinis and roasted garlic. So you wanna add a little bit more garlic. I have some more here. I added a little bit of oil because I already have oil, olive oil in my garlic. Check out my fish. Can you see everything okay? Does anybody have questions? No? Everything is pretty clear?
Yes, we can see everything and no questions at this time.
Wonderful. Garlic. Little baby zucchinis, which I love.
They are tiny.
These are cutesy. You know, sometimes I make fish and I use these as scales to decorate my fish on top.
Beautiful.
So I chop them up like this and I and I use them to decorate the fish.
Well, that's a good idea.
Yeah, and it looks really nice.
Green.
It looks really pretty. Okay, we're going to add our heart of palm rice. See, it looks like rice. It resembles rice, and when you taste it, it's gonna actually feel like rice also.
And it doesn't make you fat.
And it doesn't make you fat, exactly. Let me take the fish.
But Lorena, is it actually hearts of palm?
It's actually hearts of palm.
And then how did you get it to be that like?
They sell it like this here.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, and it's
Is
called rice.
it in the rice section?
It's actually in the pasta section.
Pasta section.
I don't know why
Okay.
they have it there, but here they have it in the pasta section.
Interesting.
But see, it looks like
Okay.
rice. So
And is it dry when you buy it? Is it like
no,
that?
no, this is very important. They're all, they don't come dry. They come in a liquid. And what usually, if you want, you know, if not to taste like with this preserving liquid, you can rinse it out, and that's it. You don't have to do anything else to it. And just use it for whatever recipe.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's really good.
Like cauliflower. Right?
It's like cauliflower rice, exactly. I'm gonna add a little of salt and pepper. This is just gonna be a side dish. You don't, I mean, the main ingredient of the dish is gonna be the sea bass, so. And what I'm going to do here, I'm gonna leave this sauteing. So the zucchini is gonna be tender but crispy. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to cover my fish with a little bit of the sauce to accelerate the cooking process. Because if you see, it's still raw in the center. It's nice and crunchy. Oops. It's nice and crunchy, but it's raw in the center. So I want this to cook well. We're gonna add sauce. We're gonna lower the heat. It's gonna be good. Ah, there we go. We're gonna let it finish cooking inside the sauce. And this way the sauce is gonna concentrate also, and it's gonna flavor the fish. Okay, so on this side now, what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to process a little amount because I don't want to get burned. Very important when you use or when you liquefy this sauce, this soup. If it's very hot, you can wait until it gets completely cold. I personally like my soups to be creamy. As I told you before, if you want this to be thinner, you add a little bit of chicken stock. I'm going to do the perfect amount for one serving. Very important, take this top off. And very important, put a little bit of, I'm going to use one of these. Paper towel. Don't cover it completely. Put it and start to lift slowly. There we go. This is usually when it's very hot, the heat is gonna just pop up. If you're not careful. Perfect. There we go. Now I'm gonna start plating. So I don't know if you have any questions. I guess I want to taste first before.
Anybody have any questions? I don't see any at the moment, Lorena.
Okay, finishing touch.
Oh, we got a finger in the way. The camera.
Now your fingers in the way.
Sorry.
Okay.
Enseñale la cámara.
This is Lola,
Ay, Lola's
the
hungry.
barking dog.
A French
I think Lola's a little
bulldog.
bit hungry.
She's smelling.
Of course.
Pero el plato para comer.
No, ya tengo todo, ya tengo todo. No problem. Ah, ya era porque para que se vea la sopa.
Déjelo así, déjelo así.
Okay, ahí vamos a hacer unos finishing touches que me faltan. Okay, this is ready. I'm going to turn this off. There we go. I think that's perfect. Done. Why is it still sounding?
Yeah, which one is not working very well?
Ah, okay.
And it's this one, I think.
Turn it off. Our fish is already ready.
Yeah.
So you can turn it off. What we want is for it to be hot. Okay, so Mao, let's come to this side. And we're gonna do the plating. This is something that I'm gonna show you. You're gonna say like, what is that? What I did with the rice water or liquid, I mixed it. I like to taste a little bit of lemony flavor on the fish. So I mixed it with the liquid of the rice, of the heart of palm rice. And I put lemon juice and I put salt. And this is a little bit of molecular cuisine. There's I don't know if you want that. It's gonna be hard to find, but this is just for decoration. So don't mind it. We're gonna have these bubbles on top of the fish that are just gonna give it texture and it's gonna look really nice. This is something I learned in Spain. So here goes our cream. You can process a little bit more if you would like. If you want it thinner, you add more chicken broth or a little bit more coconut milk. And here I like for it to be thick because I like to put, this is sour cream. Let me see if I open this well.
Lorena, we have a question. What
Tell me.
what other vegetables would you combine with hearts of palm?
Basically anything. I do a lot of decorations with zucchini and basically anything. You can use eggplant, you can use tomato, hearts of palm are like really versatile to mix with anything. I do a lot of sauces with hearts of palm. This is just one of the, but with any vegetable, bell peppers, green, red onions, white onions. See, this is gonna start to bubble. If I don't mind it or if I don't stop it, it's gonna keep on bubbling and the whole kitchen is gonna be full of the liquid. Okay, we're gonna stop it there. So here we go. We are plating. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put this at the base. This is just like the side dish. Today we made everything with rice with artichoke. We put our yummy fish. On top. Cover it with more sauce. I like to feel crunchy textures. So I have caramelized hazelnuts, which I prepared ahead of time. I chop them up real well. I put the hazelnuts on top. A little bit of parsley all over. This is a very beautiful dish. And here comes the finishing touch. See? You put this on top, and I added the ingredient that I use there is what's used in molecular cuisine, and that's why the bubbles don't fall apart. And also, and there we go.
That is fantastic. It's beautiful.
Let me see if I didn't forget something.
Yay.
I think I didn't forget anything.
I love the little bubble bath on top of the fish.
Yeah, this is a technique that was invented like I think in the late 70s, early 80s by Ferran Adrià. These techniques are molecular cuisine, and they use them a lot in cooking restaurants in Spain and right now around the world actually. And these are little techniques that give texture to the plates, give a little bit of flavor, and they look very beautiful. So.
Oh, you did a wonderful job. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're
Bravo.
so welcome.
Delicious. I just wish I was there for the live tasting.
Is that rosemary in the soup? They're asking.
This is rosemary on the soup, yes. Even if the soup doesn't have, I use a lot of rosemary to decorate, even if the soup doesn't have any rosemary on it. And I put some sour cream. We consume a lot of sour cream, and the creaminess of the sour cream is going to give it nice. It's going to look nice, and it's going to give it a nice flavor also. As I told you, if you want the soup a little bit thinner, you add more chicken stock. If you want it or more coconut milk. If you want it as thick as this, because I like it to be creamy, just leave it the way it is as soon as you take it out of the blender.
Thank you. Thank you. Bravo, bravo. Thank you so much.
Where's William?
I'm here. I'm upstairs now.
He's up next. He's on deck. We're going to be going now to Costa Rica to have our itinerary. So this is where we'll be traveling when we come to taste your
the view
food.
from the mirror, because it's the view.
You can see the view from here. Eso, that's easier.
This is our view.
Oh, beautiful. And the pool.
Yeah.
It's a little bit overcast there today.
Yes, it's overcast today. But this is a forest. Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, thank you. Thank you for the tour. Now we're going to go to Wilhelm.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you have to, I can share screen. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Are you able to share?
Let me see. Host disabled participant screening sharing. I think you have to enable me.
Okay, let me see. Should be able to now.
Okay, great. Let me now go back. To, oops. Hold on 1 second, it's a little bit lazy. There we go. No, but that's, yeah.
Oh, that life in the slow lane in Key West.
So here we are with your itinerary. So we will welcome you next month in Costa Rica, and I'm so glad that you are coming with your friends and to see the different type of adventure and lodges that we have in the whole country. So I'm going to go in around 10 minutes, a little bit around what you are going to do. So first of all, I have a map of where you're coming. You will be landing in San Jose, and on the same day, you will be transferred to the Arenal area, and you will stay at the Tabacón for the first 2 nights. Then we will go around that lake that you see on the number 1, and go around, and then we go to the cloud forest of Monteverde. And after Monteverde, we will just have a trip down to the harbor of Punta Arenas that you will not see. We will cross the Gulf on a ferry boat, and then we will go by land to Santa Teresa for your last nights at the beach. So we will start with Arenal volcano. This is a more or less a 2.5, 3 hours ride from San Jose. It's a beautiful area because you will need to, San Jose is in a central valley, so we are surrounded by volcanoes and national parks and a mountain range. So you will have to cross the mountain range and go to the other side completely of the mountain range to the Caribbean area, which is the Arenal area. You will stay here at the Tabacón Resort. The Tabacón is one of the nicest places in the area. It's very beautiful. It's very well located because you have the side of the volcano directly. And also because, well, these are the type of rooms, the orchid rooms that you are staying in Tabacón. This is another photograph. And then you will be enjoying also the spa and the hot springs. This is a natural river that runs through this beautiful garden where they have built the spa beside the thermal hot springs. It's really, really an amazing and a beautiful place to relax and to have a margarita, of course. And it's a really nice place to relax and enjoy the day. Of course, Arenal has a lot of things to offer. So we have the Sky Tram tour, which is great for people that perhaps don't want to go too much into the jungle, but to see and learn about the canopies of the forest in the area of Arenal. So this is something that we can do in the area. We have also for the adventurers, we have the Sky Trek. So the zip lining is very famous in the Arenal area. So this is another possibility of things to do in the area of Arenal. We have the Lake of Arenal, which is a man-made lake around beside the volcano. This is a water dam. There used to be a little town underneath that water, and then they moved it up to the hills to build this water dam in the 1970s after the volcano had an eruption. Where it became active, and now is in its dorm. But the lake is great for fishing as well, and then doing some kayaking or windsurfing if you want. Then for the most adventurous and they want to do something with their engines, ATV tour around the volcano is an optional way. The famous hanging bridges of Arenal. This is also very beautiful because we have long hanging bridges from place to place, and we go through canyons and we see the canopy and the wildlife in the morning. Or there are even night tours in the hanging bridges, so you can see some animals that live in the canopies of the forest. Then we have a hike that you can do as well. This is a little bit of an hour and a half hike to the waterfall and swim in that beautiful natural pool, and the waterfall just falling down. Watch out for the rocks that fall down as well. And then we will move to Monteverde. From Arenal, what we would like to do, there are 2 ways to go. You can go around the lake that you see and then travel to Monteverde. That will take around 4 hours. Or the other option, it will be by boat through the lake to a certain point and then to Monteverde by land, and that will take you around 2.5 to 3 hours. So it depends whatever you want to do. Both of them are scenic and very beautiful to do because you will see a lot of the area. And Monteverde is very well known because of the cloud forest. And the cloud forest is a beautiful region to find the quetzal bird, which is this bird that I'm showing you right now. Is the bird of freedom, what our indigenous people were used to call. And they used to have the feathers that they hang. They are quite long and green. They are very beautiful. And they used to have, how you say, I don't know how you call it, on the top of the head with the feathers. You will stay at the Monteverde Lodge, which is a very nice lodge in the cloud forest with a beautiful view to the forest. And they have also very nice trails and a very natural pool to swim and a hot spring. Then you can do some coffee tour. Monteverde produces a very good coffee because they are above the 2,000 meters high, which will be almost the 7,000 feet high, and in the cloud forest, and they produce excellent coffee. So if you're a coffee drinker, you will love to join this Don Juan coffee tour. And of course, Monteverde offers a lot of hikes in the cloud forest. And this is one of the beautiful things that you should do because there are 2 national parks and also some private wildlife reserves in the area of Monteverde. So you can choose any one of them and you can go, for example, this one is Curicancha Wildlife Refuge walk that they do. It's a fantastic walk to see the wildlife and the flora of Monteverde, which is very famous. Then we will move from Santa Teresa, from Monteverde to Santa Teresa. So as you see, we will drive to the coast. And then in the port of Punta Arenas, we will have a ferry boat that it takes an hour and a half to go to the other side. And that's very interesting because all the Costa Rican people use that ferry boat and they have always salsa music on the top of the deck of the ferry, so you can dance and you have a beer and you see the pelicans and the birds and on some of the islands in the Gulf, and then you land in on the other side, and then you drive only 45 minutes to 1 hour, depending on the road, to the next destination, which is Santa Teresa, the hotel. The hotel is called Nantipa, where you're staying. Now, this picture is taken almost when the hotel was finished. So the gardens were just growing. Right now, you don't see any of the rooms, and the pool is like between a forest. So it's really a beautiful gardens that they have done now. And you have to, there are 2 types of rooms. One like the ones that you see on the right side in front of the pool, and the other ones are like this one in front of the beach. The place is very trendy. Santa Teresa is also a very nice place, very trendy. A lot of movie stars and models from the States have bought property, like Mel Gibson, Giselle Bündchen, and Tom Hardy, her husband, and other people have bought houses there, and they love it because they walk the beautiful long beaches with the great big trees that you have shade to enjoy the beach, and then there's a lot of surfing, young people, so it's always nice to see everybody so lively and nice in the beach. And they have very good restaurants in the area as well. There is one that has sashimi and Japanese. It's called goji, which is excellent to go and have fish because they get the fish really fresh every day. So the tuna is fantastic in that restaurant. These are the type of rooms in Nantipa, part of the beach. The beach is in the front of the hotel is a little bit rough, but if you go to the left, it's much calmer and nicer as well. And you can have a learning class, a surfing learning class as well in Santa Teresa. And then we will head back again the same way back to San Jose. It will take around, well, with the hour and a half of the ferry boat to Punta Arenas to San Jose, it will take you an hour and a half as well. So it will be like 3 hours, like 5 hours drive, the whole thing. But in kilometers, it's very short. This is the valley of San Jose. As you can see, the mountain range all surrounding the city. And you will stay in a small, very nice Victorian house hotel called Grano de Oro. And this is the place where you're going to stay for the last night. And the next morning, we will then bring you back to the airport, unfortunately. These are the type of rooms at the Grano de Oro, which is a very nice. They have around 19 rooms in the hotel, very cozy, very old Victorian house. And that's it. That will be the whole tour of the whole presentation of your tour in Costa Rica. So I don't know if you have any questions that I can answer.
I don't see any right now. But I definitely want to circle back with you about that restaurant you suggested. I definitely want to go there.
Oh, yes, of
We
course.
love fish.
Yes, of course. You just let me know, and I'll tell you a list of couple of restaurants where to visit in the areas. Also, you will be welcomed by our tour manager at the airport, and you will exchange the WhatsApp numbers, so you can always contact him, and he will send you the list of the good restaurants in each place, in Arenal, in Monteverde, and in Santa Teresa.
Perfect. We do have one question. It says, what are the number of days recommended for a trip to see your country? Minimum number as well.
The minimum number, to be honest, it will be 7. That will be the minimum. If you can come 10 or 12 days, it's much better, because then we can move to 3 or 4 different. Costa Rica is so biodiverse, even it's so small, but it's so biodiverse. Everywhere where you go is going to be different from the other place. So that's
And
why
you lose a day traveling on the way over too, to factor that in.
yeah, more or less, yeah.
I mean, as far as if you want to see things, you definitely want to plan for 7 days to see things, and then an additional day, if possible,
To the
travel.
beach, yeah, or to travel, yeah, exactly.
And then they're asking what this tour approximately costs.
That I don't have it in my head. I'm so sorry. It depends also on the type of hotels, because we work also with 4 stars, and then also the 5-star properties. So if you let me know more or less the budget that you want to spend, I will stick to that budget, and I will send you the offer. But you know, it can go to 3,000. You can count about $400, let's say, per person per day. It will be, you know, in a nice accommodation. That will be more or less the price.
And then they want to know, where's the best bird viewing?
Depending on what time of the year, because everything moves around. We have 2 bird migrations, like in September, October, on the Caribbean side of the country for raptors. They're coming south from the States. And then February to May, we have the other migration in the Pacific side. So depending on what time of the year, we will send you to the best locations in Costa Rica for birding.
Okay, another question, was there a guide with you on the entire trip, or how do you travel? How many in the group?
Well, we can arrange anything. We can have, as you know, as I offered to you the first time, you can drive. It's very safe to drive in Costa Rica. We can have a transportation from our company with a tour guide to bring you to each place. And when you are in each place, all these activities, they have their own guides. So you will have a guide, a very well speaking English person. And so you will be accompanied with guides every time. Our guides will be more for the transportation from one place to the other one.
But as far as a group, these aren't like scheduled group tours. This would be you traveling, and they can offer private transfers for you to travel. But if you have a group, you know, like the garden club or something like that, I can help you coordinate a group to go travel and work with Costa Rican Trails to do a group if you have a group that you'd like to travel with. But this isn't a guided tour group that would go over there. If I have enough people that would like to go, I'd certainly take a group and go over there with you again. Not a problem. Let's see, I don't see any other any other questions. Any other questions? I think that was it. Well, thank you very much, Wilhelm. Greatly appreciated. We're very excited to be coming there next month. And we're supposed to have 6 inches of snow here. I'm based in Barnard, Vermont. And we're all ready into spring. And I kept saying to my husband, I don't know. I just feel like there's some other storm out there. Well, Thursday night into Friday, we're supposed to possibly get 6 inches where I live, and we're at a higher elevation. So it's most likely that we will get that. But
Yeah.
I want to thank everybody for joining us today. This is a once a month, I'm doing a travel and cooking show combined. So each month is a different destination, and it's called Who's Cooking with Julie J. Travel. And next month for May, we're going to be going to Peru, another beautiful location, although I haven't been to Peru. That's on my wish list. I've been to Costa Rica, but I haven't been to Peru. So it's on my wish list. I'm working with the supplier right now on the date, but I do know we're going to be making ceviche and pisco sour. So that should be fun and exciting. I'll be sending out an email within the next day or so, which will have the recording of today, as well as the recipes again, in case you missed those. And I will hopefully be able to disclose the date of our next travel cooking show. So thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you, Wilhelm and Lorena, and your cameraman as well. We greatly appreciate it. And I hope to meet you in person next month.
Yes, thank you, Julie. And we will see you next month. Thank you very much, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Lorena. Thank you. It was wonderful. Enjoy your dinner party tonight.
Yes, we will. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.